Hey y'all, how's it going? It's Swebe, and today we have our day 5 of our 5 days of top 5. This is our last day of top 5, and I'm so excited for this one. This is our top 5 fun new synergies. We're going to be looking at some of the new synergies between the cards today that are coming to the Battlegrounds. Let's go. All right, so this first one, I will say I have mentioned this once or 5 times before. I don't know. But this first one is coming in at number 5 because it's highly anticipated. I feel like a lot of people know how absolutely broken it is at this point. This is our fireworks and our upbeat duo. Especially with the help of Bran, we know that this crazy, crazy value, like you find the firework, you find the upbeat duo, you use it on a firework, and then if you have Bran, you use it on another minion, and then you just get all of these minions, copies and copies and copies, and firework scales and scales and scales, and then you're just doing things, and your board is getting very, very, very large. Of course, there are ways to counter this with like Venomous, Leroy. We have our usual tech for just massive board builds. However, the upbeat duo is on my prediction list for nerfs that happen sooner than later. I think that it's just going to be incredibly strong, especially with this fireworks pair. I think it'll be really fun though, and I loved a meme, and that is absolutely a meme. So excited to play that one and give it a try. And moving on to number 4, this is another end of turn build. This is our utility drone, which is the end of turn, giving your minions +1/+1 for each magnetization they have. With our tier 6 polarizing beatboxer, this is our new mech. Whenever you magnetize to another minion, you also magnetize to that one. So you find some magnetic units. You could even, if you were greedy, which I have never met a greedy Battlegrounds player. No, not me. No, absolutely not. If you're greedy, you can bank some mech in your hand, and then you find your polarizing beatboxer, and you are just prepared to go off on attaching all these magnetics and making this beatboxer very large. You already have your utility drone, hopefully at this point, and it just stacks and scales. And I love this new mech situation going on with the scaling board, with the magnetization. I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm very excited to try this one. Moving on to number 3, we have a Murloc situation. This is our Bream counter while this is in your hand. After you play a Murloc, gain +3/+2, and our tier 6 Coral Murgler. At the start of the combat, gain stats of all the minions in your hand. So if our tier 4 Bream counter has been, scaling over time, keep it in your hand, play some Murlocs, Bream counter's large. Your Coral Murgler is going to be a massive, massive minion. And let's pretend that you golden a Bream counter. Let's pretend you have multiple Bream counters. Let's pretend that you just have this massive hand. Of course, hand management is going to be a challenge. However, I'm really excited to see and play this hand buff situation. I think it's going to be really fun. It feels almost like playing 2 games at once because of the nature of Battlegrounds, of having this board combat that you can't control the auto battler, but then also having to manage your hand, which we don't have to right now, at least. In terms of if you're playing a Quillbore build, you have to manage your gems. If you are someone like me who banks cards, there are times where I build an entire pivot in my hand as an out. I collect a bunch of Rivendares. I randomly have 2 boom boxes, and I'm just ready to do a whole board pivot. If I see that I'm in a top 2 and my opponent has an easily counterable board with what I have in my hand, I will switch. I'll do that. So it feels almost like a whole different way of thinking about this game that I'm really, really excited about, that I feel like I've already been training for without knowing it was going to be a thing. So I'm excited for this build. Moving on to number 2. This is surprising, right? Number 2 is a demon situation. We all know how much I love demons. Lie, it's a full lie. But I was just so impressed with this specific card mechanic that I think it's going to be a really fun build to play. So we know that the whole goal of demons at this point is consuming the board and damaging your face. So we have our Soul Rewinder, which after you take the damage, it undoes it and gains health. It's +1 health. So you play a demon that hurts your face it unhurts your face, puts a bandit on it, and then gains some health. And then on tier 5, we have our Tichondrius. After your hero takes damage, give your other demons +1/+1. This feels like a really, really, really clean scaling situation. You know, you have this situation where you play a demon. Let's just pretend you play a Wrathweaver. I know. Let's pretend you play a Wrathweaver, okay? You have a Wrathweaver, you have a Soul Rewinder, you have a Tichondrius. Now you're just cycling demons that is consistently doing damage to your face. But that Soul Rewinder undoes the damage. However, you already took that damage, so Tichondrius is going to buff your board. That +1/+1 doesn't seem like it's going to be a lot. And demons have never been in the situation of like heavy cycling. I mean, you play demons for Wrathweaver for sure to like get the value, but it's never been like the way that you play Battle Cries for Murloc. Like, it almost feels like it's taking on that aspect of it, of cycling these minions to get the Battle Cries, but this time it's just getting damage to your face to undo the damage. It feels like you're going to be kind of stuck in like this health time warp, but I think it's going to be a really, really fun build to play, and may even make me a demon enjoyer, and I can't believe I just said that. Last but not least, coming in at number 1 is our Deep Blue Crooner with our Zesty Shaker. This is 2 of our new Naga. So tier 4 Deep Blue Crooner is a spellcraft of give a minion +1/+1 until next turn. Improve on your future Deep Blues. So that's a scaling spellcraft, which is a very, very interesting concept and not something we've really seen before. And then we have our tier 3 Zesty Shaker. Once per turn, after you cast a spellcraft spell on this, add a new copy of it to your hand. So by playing the Deep Blues, you are going to add it back to your hand. You play it on the Zesty Shaker, get another copy of it. You are improving your future Deep Blues. So that feels like it can get pretty out of control. Even in, if you stay on like that feels like almost like a tier 3, tier 4, like stay on tier 4 Naga build, which like we really haven't seen yet. Like we have some decent tempo pieces. Like we have our Eventide Brute, who's now on tier 3, but was on tier 4 and worked with spells. So you could, if you were like Lord Baroff, who had coins, or you were someone that were playing some Quillbore, getting some gems. It was a good board addition if you were just looking for some tempo. But this feels specifically like you could honestly play a Deep Blues build, which sounds really fun. I don't know what endgame looks like, but I'm excited to find out. So those were our top 5 fun new synergies. Let me know in the comments if there's any other synergies that you are excited to see. And also let me know what you thought about our 5 days of top 5. I had a blast with this. I always love doing this. I love analyzing the new minions before they start in the next season. So thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow we are going to do our 2 last deep dives of our minion shakeups. If you haven't checked out that series, definitely do so. We go really in depth on each of the minion types, the new minions, what's leaving, and what to expect. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.